Hello and welcome to the first episode of the Ultimate Guide to Pokemon. This is going to be a guide that is going to help you with Wi-Fi battling, starting with the basics. As you can see from the title, back to basics with TKF, i.e. me. So there are going to be a few different things that we're going to look at in the first part. We're going to have 3 topics, and the very first topic we're going to look at is Pokemon typings. So all Pokemon, regardless of region, have what is called a typing. And as you can see from the background image, we have the 3 first types you will ever encounter: fire, water, and grass. These types will normally do well in most situations, however are most powerful when used together, i.e. in a core. But that's something more advanced that we will get onto later in the series. For now, here's the different types of Pokemon that you will encounter: normal, fire, water, grass, electric, ice, fighting, poison, ground, flying, psychic, bug, rock, ghost, dragon, dark, and steel. As you can see, I've marked each typing with its weak and strong points. For example, fire types are weak to water types, but are strong against grass types. I've stated the type advantages for the 3 starter Pokemon, as fire, water, and grass types are a great place to start. Now, as you can see to the far right of the Pokemon's type, I've listed a Pokemon type or ability that will render the Pokemon's primary stab move useless. Stab stands for Stain, Type, Attack, Bonus. A good example of this would be Charmander using Ember, Bulbasaur using Vine Whip, or even Squirtle using Water Gun. So some Pokemon have abilities that counter certain types of attacks, such as Flash Fire. Any Pokemon that has the Flash Fire ability will take no damage from any fire type attack. Instead, it will raise that Pokemon's fire type attack by 1 stage. We will cover more on this later on. So as you can see here, I have fire type being weak to water and strong against grass type, but rendered completely useless against any Pokemon that has the Flash Fire ability. So water types will be weak to electric types, strong against fire types, and completely useless against any Pokemon that has Water Absorb or Storm Drain. Again, grass types will be weak to fire types, strong against water types, and render completely useless against any Pokemon that has the Sap Sipper ability. Now, there are many other different types and problems that you will encounter with Pokemon, such as electric type moves being completely rendered useless against ground type Pokemon. There are many different types and problems that you will encounter, so I strongly suggest that you go to Serebii and check out the typing chart. I'll provide links in the description to anything that you guys may need to know. So moving on, in the second topic here, we're going to be taking a look at base stats. Now, base stats are in place to tell you exactly what you need to know about a Pokemon's capabilities during battle. Now, you may be wondering how to tell a good base stat from a poor one, so I'll explain. Now, base stats come down to opinion mostly, although the general conception is that base 100 or above is great, anything from 80 to 100 is considered average or okay at best, and anything from 80 or below is considered to be poor or not great at best. Now, as with everything, there are exceptions. For example, Ferrothorn is a grass and steel type Pokemon, that's right, dual stab, that gets access to a move called Jarable. Now, Jarable's damage is increased depending on the user's attack stat and the difference in speed between the attacker and the Pokemon being attacked. So having a low base speed would actually benefit Ferrothorn as opposed to hindering it like it normally would to most Pokemon. Don't worry if you are confused by dual typing such as grass or steel or the mechanics of how Jarable works. We will cover them later on in the guide. Now, you may be wondering why I have Blissey for my background image for this slide. Well, it's because Blissey boasts one of the highest base HP stats in the game, and when combined with its fairly good special defense stats to say the least, it makes this Pokemon a monster of a special wall. Again, don't worry if you don't know how to check the base stats. I will leave a link to Serebii in the description. Serebii is a site where you can check a Pokemon's type, all the moves it learns, its strengths and weaknesses, and base stats. So as you can see at the bottom, I've posted there that Blissey's base HP stat is a whopping 255, when we did say that 100 is good, and its base special defense is 135, actually contradicting my previous statement saying that it is well above average. So, moving on now to our last topic here, we're going to see Pokemon builds. Now, this is something that usually does confuse people, but something certainly you should not have to worry about, although it is very important for a team. So, during competitive Pokemon battling, there are many different types or builds of Pokemon that you will need to consider. I've listed the common ones here. Now, generally you'll see Lead, Support, Cleric, Physical or Special Sweeper, Physical or Special Wall, Physical or Special Attackers. Now, there may be some other Pokemon that can be categorized into different builds, but for now these are the ones that we're going to stick to. Now generally a lead Pokemon is a very diverse or versatile Pokemon, as they differentiate depending on Pokemon or purely however you decide to make them. A good example of one of these Pokemon is Azelf. There are normally two common lead sets for Azelf, one being the Focus Sash variant that sets up Stealth Rocks and then proceeds to explode on its opponent's lead Pokemon, and the other being an all-out special attacker that catches an unprepared victim off guard. Now, just because a Pokemon's in the lead stat doesn't necessarily mean that it has to set up hazards. It can also mean that it's just a full-on attacker that maybe has a very good move pool that either gains a lot of different attacks, such as Thunderbolt, Flamethrower, Energy Ball, and Psychic, all different moves that Azelf can utilize. So generally most leads will set up hazards, i.e. Stealth Rocks, and then proceed to cause as much damage as possible to the opponent's lead. So next up we have a support Pokemon or a Cleric. These Pokemon generally have decent base HP stats, defense stats, and special defense stats. These enable them to take a good hit while providing support to the rest of the team. The best example that comes to mind is Blissey. Blissey gets access to great moves to help out the team. First off, most of us know that Blissey gets access to the move Wish. Due to the change of mechanics in 5th generation, if Blissey passes off a wish to another Pokemon in your team, instead of that Pokemon gaining back half of its HP, it will actually gain back half of Blissey's, and with its huge HP stat of 255 base, well, let's just say that your Pokemon is sure to be feeling better after that. Support or Cleric Pokemon also gain access to a move known as Heal Bell, which will cure any Pokemon with a status condition in the team. Maybe something like a burned physical sweeper. Heal Bell is definitely something I would recommend, as it can change a game almost instantly. Next up, we have physical or special sweepers. Now these Pokemon are dead handy to have around, as they are used at the right time. They can completely devastate your opponent's team, leaving them wondering what happened. Physical sweepers will take advantage of their awesome attack and or speed stats to demolish Pokemon slower or weaker than it. Sounds like a regular Pokemon, right? Well, not exactly. Sweepers are Pokemon that use stat boosting moves to their advantage. A great example of this would be Scizor. Scizor gets access to a move called Sword Stance. This boosts its attack by 2 stages, making it double. Scizor also gets a priority move called Bullet Punch. Bullet Punch is a Steel type move, and seeing as Scizor is a Bug Steel, he will receive a stab bonus from that too. But that's not all. Scizor's ability is one called Technician. This means that any move that has a power of base 60 or below is boosted by 50%. So Bullet Punch is now set at 90 as opposed to 60 where it was before. But wait, don't forget to add Stab to that too. I'll leave you guys to do the math, but all in all, it's things like this that contribute to making a deadly sweeper. Now it's the same principle for special sweepers, except they use different stat boosting moves such as Calm Mind or Nasty Plot. Calm Mind boosts your special attack and special defense by 1 stage, whereas Nasty Plot just boosts your special attack by 2 stages. So after using these type of boosting moves, you can proceed to demolish your opponents from the special side as opposed to the physical one. So next up we have physical and special walls. Now these Pokemon take advantage of their high HP stats and high defense or special defense stat depending on whether they are physical or special. There really isn't too much to explain for these two. However, I think it's important that you know that sweepers aren't the only ones that can use boosting moves. That's right, walls can too. There are many types of boosting moves that are beneficial to walls, and a few of them being Calm Mind, boosting special defense and special attack as a little side help. Curse, boosting Curse, boosting defense, although it does also have some downsides, and Stockpile, boosting both special defense and defense. So last up are your filler Pokemon, as I like to call them. Now these Pokemon don't really have a certain role within the team, only to balance synergy and to wear down your opponent's team. It's handy to have at least one physical and one special attacker in your team, as if you were to encounter a Blissey, well, let's just say you would be screwed if you only had a special attacker, to put it bluntly. So that will conclude the guide. I just wanted to thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the first installment of this guide. It takes me a tremendous amount of time and effort to make this, so I really would appreciate it if you guys could like or favorite the video. Sharing with friends or other YouTubers is a great way to help me get this out there. Part 2 will be up sometime in the future. However, please bear in mind it takes me a lot of time to get the resources, information, and time off of college to do it. Next time we will cover EVs, dual typings, and status conditions. So thanks again for the time. It's been TKF, and I'll hope to see you guys next time.